All right, so are you ready to dive into something pretty interesting today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, great, because today we're looking at the 2024 annual report for Cure VCP disease. You've
Awesome.
been following them for a while now, so this report is like a progress update, but
Yeah.
even for you, I think there are some surprises in here.
Oh, cool.
We're talking about a new patient registry,
Oh, wow.
a biobank roadshow, even a virtual move-a-thon. What's that about?
Yeah, Cure VCP disease is fascinating. They managed to make a huge impact despite being a relatively small organization.
Hmm.
They've cultivated this perception of being much larger than they are, which speaks volumes about the dedication of their volunteers
Yeah.
and the high professional standards they've maintained over the past 6 years.
Okay, that makes sense. But before we go any further,
Sure.
let's make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay.
For those who might be new to this, can you give us a quick refresher on what VCP disease actually is?
Absolutely, VCP disease, or vellocin-containing protein disease, is incredibly rare, affecting fewer than 2,000 diagnosed individuals worldwide.
Wow.
It's a hereditary condition with no known cure, and it can impact muscles, bones, the brain,
Oh, wow.
and even nerves.
Really?
In fact, many cases likely go undiagnosed, which makes the work of Cure VCP disease even more crucial.
Wow. Less than 2,000 people diagnosed globally. That really puts it into perspective. So how is Cure VCP disease tackling this challenge?
Their mission is crystal clear: unite and fund research-build collaborations and support patients within the VCP global community.
That's great.
Their vision is to make treatments and cures a reality,
Okay.
ultimately improving the quality of life for patients and their families.
Got it.
They even have a tagline that encapsulates their commitment:
Oh, nice.
"Finding a cure is in our DNA."
I love that tagline. It's catchy and powerful. Now, the report highlights the impact of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative,
Uh-huh.
or CZI Rare is One grant, which Cure VCP received in 2022.
Right.
This grant concluded at the end of 2024.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear what kind of impact it had.
That's a great question. While the grant wasn't directly funding research, it was instrumental in bolstering their organizational capacity.
Okay.
Think of it as strengthening their infrastructure, improving scientific oversight, promoting open science practices, and enhancing their overall sustainability.
Got it.
This funding helped propel Cure VCP disease to a new level of maturity, equipping them for a brighter future.
It sounds like they really maximized that opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, the report also mentions the 2024 VCP International Scientific Conference at Caltech.
Yes.
Their first in North America, over 100 attendees from 34 countries.
Yeah,
That's impressive for any organization, let alone one focused on such a rare disease.
it really is. What's interesting is that many attendees were surprised to see a patient advocacy organization orchestrate such a comprehensive scientific gathering.
Yeah?
Cure VCP disease really pulled it off, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive, especially regarding their innovative elements like patient posters and patient researcher roundtables.
Okay, so Cure VCP disease is clearly making waves.
Uh-huh.
And with all this momentum, it's no surprise they have some new faces on the team. The report introduces Dr. Zali Yavaro, their new Director of Scientific Engagement.
Yes, Dr. Yavaro brings a wealth of experience with her PhD in pharmacology from Duke University.
Okay,
But what's particularly exciting is her passion for patient advocacy.
right.
She's deeply committed to ensuring the patient voice is heard throughout pharmaceutical development and regulatory decisions.
That's fantastic. Having someone who can bridge that gap between science and patient needs is so valuable. The report also mentions Brandon Felt,
Yes.
who transitioned from a board member to their development and partner relations coordinator.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like he has a personal connection to VCP disease.
He does. Brandon is the primary care partner for his mother, who has frontotemporal dementia, or FTD.
Wow.
FTD is a brain disorder impacting behavior and language, and it's often linked to VCP variants. Now Brandon is using his personal experience to help secure sustainable funding for Cure VCP disease,
That's great.
focusing on areas like basic science, research, translational therapy programs, and drug screening initiatives.
That must have been so difficult for him caring for his mother while navigating the complexities of this rare disease.
Yeah.
But to turn that experience into action and become such a strong advocate, that's powerful.
Speaking of research, let's shift gears and talk about some of the highlights from the report.
Sure.
It mentions this Across Healthcare Matrix platform. What is that exactly?
It's the foundation for their new patient registry and biorepository.
Okay.
This platform is incredibly robust,
Uh-huh.
capable of managing detailed medical records and even conducting small clinical studies in 8 languages.
Wait, 8 languages. Why was that so important for them?
That's a great question. VCP disease affects people all over the world.
Right.
So making the platform accessible in multiple languages removes barriers to participation
Yeah.
and allows for a more diverse and representative patient population. That makes a lot of sense. But I'm curious, they already had a registry through CorDS with 124 enrolled individuals.
Right.
Why create a whole new platform?
You're right, they did have a previous registry. However, this new platform takes things to a whole new level in terms of functionality and accessibility.
Okay.
It provides researchers with a powerful tool for understanding the daily impact of VCP disease on patients' lives.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this new platform fits into their bigger research strategy. The report also talks about the Biobank Roadshow, a collaborative effort to collect biological samples from patients.
They are.
What's the purpose of that?
It's all about biomarker discovery. Biomarkers are like clues that can help us understand disease progression, diagnose it earlier,
Yeah.
and measure the effectiveness of new treatments. This proactive approach shows pure VCP is prioritizing biomarker discovery, which could be crucial for attracting future biotech investment. The roadshow made 8 stops in 2024,
Wow.
and they're planning to visit 9 more cities in 2025.
So it's not just about collecting samples, it's about finding those specific clues that can unlock better treatments smart. The report also dives into their participation in the 2024 CREATE Consortium annual meeting,
Right.
led by Dr. Michael Benatar. It seems like this was all about ALS research.
Exactly. The meeting focused on bringing together researchers to accelerate the development of treatments for ALS patients.
Got it.
What's interesting here is that Cure VCP Disease's goal in attending wasn't solely focused on VCP.
Oh,
They were there to raise awareness about the often overlooked connection between VCP and ALS.
so they were advocating for a rare disease within another rare disease space. That's really interesting. Did they make any headway in getting people to pay attention to that connection?
They did. Dr. Lindsay Alfano even presented on VCP disease functional measures that could potentially benefit the ALS community,
Okay.
highlighting the potential for shared learnings and collaborative research efforts.
That's a great example of how collaboration can lead to unexpected breakthroughs. The report also mentions these VCP scientific focus group meetings, but it sounds like they're pretty secretive.
Well, not exactly secretive, but they are intentionally not recorded to encourage open and honest dialogue.
Okay.
These meetings provide a safe space for researchers to discuss potentially unpublished research
Got it.
and collaborate freely without fear of premature sharing.
That makes sense. Now let's talk about some of the grants and collaborations that Cure VCP Disease secured in 2024. This one from the CZI Rares 1 project caught my eye.
Yeah.
They received $24,000 to test a VCP disease app and a wearable device. That seems like a pretty innovative approach.
It is. The study will explore how technology can help individuals with VCP disease better understand and manage their symptoms.
Okay.
It's set to run for 5 months,
Wow.
and if successful, has the potential to empower patients with valuable insights into their own health.
Empowering patients seems to be a recurring theme here, which I love. There's also this collaboration with the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences, or NCATS.
Right.
What are they working on together?
This is a big one. They're collaborating to create organoid models using patient-specific cells.
Okay.
Basically, they're creating miniature versions of organs in a lab setting to study the disease process.
Wow.
The ultimate goal is to identify the first disease-modifying drug for VCP patients, which would be a major breakthrough.
You're kidding. So instead of just treating symptoms, they're trying to target the underlying cause of the disease. That's a game changer. And then there's the $25,000 grant from Alexion.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like this one is all about mental health and educational support for teenagers and young adults who may be affected by VCP disease.
Absolutely. This program aims to provide teens and young adults with access to genetic testing counseling services
Okay.
and monthly check-ins with a social worker. They'll also have various educational and peer engagement opportunities, which
Yeah.
can make a huge difference in their lives.
Directing 71% of their budget to research? That's a bold statement about their priorities. They also awarded a $20,000 research grant to Dr. Eleonora D'Ambrosio, a gene therapy fellow, to continue her research. And then there's this $25,000 collaboration grant from the Muscular Dystrophy Association,
Okay.
or MDA, to explore innovative ways to make clinical trials more accessible and sensitive through remote outcome measures.
Right.
They're partnering with EMS Endpoint Solutions and Nationwide Children's Hospital to develop remote outcome measures, essentially allowing patients to participate in clinical trials from the comfort of their own homes.
Uh-huh.
This could significantly increase trial participation and accelerate research.
Definitely.
That's really innovative. It seems like Cure VCP Disease is involved in just about everything. They're like the social butterflies of the rare disease world. What else are they up to?
Well, they've been incredibly active in raising awareness and attending various events like the CZI Science and Society meeting, the MDA Clinical and Scientific Conference,
Okay.
the AFTD Educational Conference, Treat NMDs Developing Therapies and Rare Neuromuscular Disease Conference, and the Global Genes 2024 Rare Advocacy Summit and Combined Brain in-person meeting.
Wow, they really get around. But it makes sense they need to be visible and build connections to advance their mission. What about their social media presence? Are they active online?
Absolutely. Their social media game is strong.
Oh, good.
They've reached over 11,000 people on Facebook alone, sharing over 100 posts raising awareness about VCP disease. They're effectively leveraging social media to connect with patients, families, and researchers.
And let's not forget about their fundraising efforts.
Yes,
Their annual benefit in Macon raised an impressive $98,226.
it did.
Their most successful yet. This suggests that in-person events resonate strongly with their donor base. Plus, their first tee-off for a cure fundraiser at Topgolf in Atlanta brought in another $7,915.
Nice.
And then there was the Cure VCP Disease Classic at Churchill Downs,
Yeah.
an actual horse race named after them.
They did. That was a prize from their 2022 gala, and it was a brilliant way to raise awareness and capture people's attention.
I bet. It's not every day you see a rare disease organization with its own horse race. But they also focus on building community through smaller, more intimate events. They hosted 12 virtual happy hours for patients and 12 for care partners,
Oh, wow.
with a total of 212 attendees. And let's not forget about their second annual ICANN Movement Virtual Move-a-thon, which raised a remarkable $40,249,
Wow.
18 teams, and 220 supporters. That speaks volumes about the dedication of this community. So with all this activity, I'm curious to know how their finances are looking.
Well, their 2024 financials tell a compelling story. They've experienced significant revenue growth over the years, reaching an impressive $427,000 in 2024.
That's amazing. What's their revenue breakdown? Where's all this money coming from?
It's actually quite diverse. 6% comes from program revenue, 42% from fundraising events,
Okay.
and a whopping 52% from contributions.
Wow, that's incredible. So people are really buying into their mission and investing in their work. But how are they spending all this money?
The majority, 71%, goes directly towards research, 15% is allocated to fundraising, 3% to awareness, 1% to patient support,
Okay.
and 10% to management. This clearly demonstrates their commitment to research as their top priority.
This is also impressive.
Yeah,
It's clear that Cure VCP Disease is a small organization with a huge impact.
definitely.
If you're feeling inspired, I encourage you to visit the Cure VCP Disease website at curevcp.org. to learn more and get involved. There's always something we can do to make a difference, no matter how small.
And that's a great call to action. Even a simple act of spreading awareness can have a ripple effect.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe we'll be back for another deep dive into Cure VCP Disease's progress in the future. Until then, stay curious, stay engaged,